And welcome to part 120. Believe it or not, this part has a lot of sped up footage in it, even though it's 21 minutes long. I just wanted to put the entire cycle in this part because it's a really annoying cycle, and yeah. So, I made this minigame look a lot harder than it really is. It is pretty hard, but really all you have to do is practice until you get the patterns down, and make sure to keep your bow on the left and move from left to right whenever you take out the Octoroks. The way I was doing it in the last two parts was theoretically possible to complete, but I was making it a lot harder than it had to be. You really don't stay in the middle like I was. Stay on the left and go from left to right. It's challenging, but it's not impossible, so I don't really know what else to say. Somebody posted in the comments that I could artificially limit the FPS on my emulator so that it plays in slow motion. If you're playing on an emulator and you want to do that, go ahead. Personally, I don't really see the point if you have to cheat in such a way to do it. That seems a little pointless, but, you know, that is a method if you think this is too hard. Your only reward here is a heart piece, though. You're not getting an actual, like, item or anything, so if you're not super concerned about getting absolute 100% just for the sake of it, just don't do the mission, I think, because it's not really that fun. It's just kind of irritating, unless you're really, really like shooting Octoroks for some reason, in which case you should probably seek help. But, yeah, so there's our perfect, and we have yet another heart piece. We're going to be getting 3 heart pieces and a bottle in this part, so, that's why there's a lot of sped up footage, because to get the last bottle, we have to partially redo the Anduin Cafe side quest, and I don't want to make you sit through that again. So in between the various heart pieces we're grabbing, there's going to be little sped up portions where I go around and do a little bit of the Anduin Cafe side quest. Celebratory sword spin. Whatever that's called. Spin attack. Not screw attack, spin attack. Alright, so, there's no audio during these sped up parts because for some reason the only editing software that seems to accept the codec I use is Windows Movie Maker, and Windows Movie Maker is a pile of crap and it can't retain audio when it speeds up footage. I have much better software, obviously, because I'm a filmmaker. I have Adobe Premiere, etc., but I don't know. I'm too lazy to get it to work, so you're just gonna have to suffer through silence here. Heh. So, anyway, to do this cycle, I recommend you go around and grab a whole lot of rupees, because you're going to need rupees to play some of these mini-games that you need to do in order to get the heart pieces. Because they're not as hard as the shooting gallery, in my opinion, but they might still take a couple of tries. They can be a bit challenging. Our first one is the Honey and Darling shop right here. It's not a shop. I guess it's a shop, sort of. I don't know. Either way, it's some manner of building where you play a mini-game. The minigame that they play, it has a different minigame every single day. The one on the first day is this bomb chew target practice type thing. I don't know. It takes a little bit of practice. It's not too bad. Basically just time it right, and whenever you hit a target, try to get into a groove. Once you hit a target, try counting like 1, 2, 3, and then drop the next one. Because, you know, if you get a good rhythm down, you could pretty much do it. You do have unlimited bomb-oms. I mean bomb chews, not bomb-oms. And you can only have so many out at a time, but it's a fairly high number, so you can spam them a little bit. I recommend trying to get into a rhythm and then dropping 2 or 3, you know, and try not to get all turned around so that there's only one left, because that can be really nerve-wracking. There we go. You do have to get absolutely perfect in order to succeed here, like all the mini games in this game. Those are some of the strangest NPCs in the game. A couple that runs a shooting gallery of sorts. It's not really a shooting gallery, but you know, it's similar. It's got a lot of target practice minigames. It's very odd. Ooh. That was a cough. Anyway, very professional coughs aside, because this is a professional playthrough, as I'm sure you've noticed. The next mini game you want to do is in Northern Clocktown. I think the idea is for you to do this, you know, while you're a Deku during your first cycle before you get the Song of Healing. Since it's basically just a great big, you know, it's like practicing your skills with the Deku mask. But I like to put it off because it's not really that hard. I think a lot of people think it's really hard. It's not really that hard, but, you know, it's a little tedious. And when you don't have a ton of money in the bank, it can be somewhat frustrating, I guess. I don't know. I put it off because I felt like it. So, all you have to do is come over here, talk to one of these two. They both say the same thing. It doesn't matter who you talk to. You pay 10 rupees and jump in the Deku Flower, and they kind of explain your mission here. All you got to do is jump out of the flower, jump onto all the moving platforms, collect all the rupees in under 1 minute and 15 seconds. Your main obstacle here is falling off the platforms, because if you fall off, you instantly lose and you have to start again. I've never ever actually completed this in more than 1 minute and 15 seconds. Like, if you're actually doing it normally, I don't imagine how you could take that long. But that could just be me. I don't know. Really, your main thing here is just accuracy. I mean, don't fall off the platforms. Don't miss the platforms. It's really easy on the first day, but the later days, the platforms start moving a lot faster. It gets a little bit challenging, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I don't know. It just depends on how good you are at the flying mechanism. Always remember what I said way back in the second dungeon, that as long as you're not moving, you will not lose your pedal power. So, you know, if you aren't lined up perfectly with a platform, just hands off the control stick and let yourself hover there until it comes back. You will lose altitude, so if it's a platform that goes up and down, or you're just really low, you might still end up missing it, and you're obviously going to waste some time. But as I said, you're really, I don't know, you don't really need the whole 100, you don't really need the whole minute and 15 seconds, so you kind of have all the time in the world, sort of, unless you take a really long time. I don't know, just, you know, practice, like everything in this game, really. So, yeah, there's this Deku Playground, and there's the Honey and Darling shop. You have to go there and beat the record every single day for 3 days, and then you'll get a piece of heart. It's a good way to get some rupees. You will get a total of 200 rupees, because you get 50 every time you win for both of them. So, you know, it's worth it, even if you end up royally messing it up. But I'm pretty sure both of those places are open pretty much the entire day, I think, so you shouldn't have too much of a trouble. You can probably retry the mission like over and over and over and over again. I don't know. With mini games like this, it's difficult to really give advice. So here's a cutscene that I don't believe I showed off earlier. If you get here at the exact time that the postman delivers this letter from Cafe, you get a little bit of an extra cutscene where Anju tries to ask him where he picked the letter up from, because she's obviously trying to find out where Cafe is, and he refuses to tell her because of confidentiality, I suppose. You know, whether you think the postman's being a dick or you respect Cafe's privacy, that's up to you, I guess. He is kind of just doing his job, but that's my opinion. So, yep, we're just waiting around for 11:30 so that we can go talk to Anju and get the, what did she give us again? A letter, I believe, a letter to Cafe. Yeah, we need to get the priority mail from the proprietor of the Curiosity Shop again. We don't have to go back to Sakon's hideout or anything like that. We just need to get that mail again so that we can deliver it straight to Mama instead of giving it to the postman, and then you'll get the last bottle. So you do have to redo most of the Cafe and Anju side quest, which is really annoying, really lazy on Nintendo's part, but here we are. So, today is Basket Bomb Day, which reminds me of Basketball, which is a decent movie, I suppose, if you're high. Anyway. So yeah, now we're playing around with bombs. These guys are really insane because, you know, day 1 shooting bomb tubes around, day 2 throwing bombs around. Thankfully their building is indestructible. I wonder how much they paid for that. I'm starting to think the entire Zelda universe is in California. But anyway, I find this game easier than the first one. I actually think the bomb shoot thing is probably the hardest. This one's not too hard once you get a rhythm down. The most annoying thing really is that you have to run to throw the bombs, which is, you know, they changed that in Wind Waker. But, you know, this is in Majora's Mask, you have to actually have a running start in order to throw. Otherwise, Link will just drop the bomb on his feet like a dumbass. So, you know, as long as you get a good pattern down and, I don't know, practice, practice, practice. As I said, it's really difficult to give advice for these. It's really just down to how good you are at these little minutiae of the game, really. And there you go, you get another perfect. That's 2 perfects in a row, and you get another 50 rupees for that. Not too shabby. It's not terribly helpful either, but, you know, it's not terrible. We do at least have less than 5,000 rupees now, so we can deposit it. So, yeah, obviously, second day now, we have to go to the Deku Playground and, do the Deku Playground again. 3 times, as I said. It's quite a bit more challenging on the second day because the platforms are going to start rotating now. Or, you know, they don't rotate per se, but they orbit around the center, I guess. That's the word I'm looking for. Either way, they move a lot more, so it's a little bit more challenging, but shouldn't be too hard, I hope. Didn't take me, well, actually, I do it on the first try, but I remember when I did it as a kid, it only took me 5 or 6, I don't know. I didn't try it, it didn't take me that long anyway. But I don't know. And there, as you can see, they kind of circle around the center. Makes it a little more challenging, but as long as you remember that you will not lose your pedal power as long as you're not touching the control stick, that's the main trick you need to learn. Other than that, just do it a couple of times, figure out a good pattern, and you shouldn't have too much trouble, I hope. See, as long as you wait here, you will never drop. Unless you know, wait there so long that your altitude lowers until you touch the ground, but that would take like minutes, I think. This probably isn't the most efficient pattern for getting the rupees, but as I said, you're really not all about efficiency, it's more about accuracy than anything else. I'm not really sure if collecting these rupees makes them go back into your wallet or not, since your wallet's invisible as long as you're playing, and I'm too lazy to actually, you know, keep track of how many rupees I had before I started playing, but they probably do. I don't know. Watch the video back and tell me in the comments, because I really don't know. Whoa. There we go. So, there we go. We got a new record. 20 seconds underneath the record. That's pretty decent, if I do say so myself. It's probably not the best you could do, but it's not bad, certainly. And we get our rupees, and now it's time for more Cafu and Anjay. Cafu. Yeah. You know what I meant to say, whatever. I should start calling them Caffy Eye, like I said I was going to. Caffy Eye. It sounds like a friggin' transformer. I really hate the Transformers, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there to be controversial, since it has such a big fan base. And I like to piss people off. Anyway, talk to this guy. Go through the unskippable cutscene, blah, 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 blah. And he gives us the Pendant of Memories, and, yeah. If you don't know exactly how to do this, go back a couple of parts to when I was doing the Cafu and Anjay. Wow, I really can't pronounce that anymore. Anju and Cafe side quest, and you'll be able to see how to do this. Or, you know, just go on, like, Game Facts or something, and they'll show you how to do it. Anyway, this is time for our third and final time doing the Honey and Darling minigame. Target shooting. Uncreative name there, but, you know, to the point, I suppose. It seems like here Nintendo just kind of ran out of ideas, because it is yet another thing where you shoot arrows at targets. The platform is spinning, though, so it's actually somewhat challenging. I don't know. I did it on my first try, but, you know. It's very cathartic, though, because, you know, as you saw there for a moment, you could shoot through Honey and Darling, and it doesn't do anything. They say, it hurts, and it doesn't, as far as I know, you can shoot them as much as you want, and it will never, they'll never, like, kick you out of the game or anything, so... You know, anytime they get in your way, just fire away, aim for the head, attempt to kill them. I don't know about you, but they really piss me off. So, and I'm sure they'll piss you off too if you, you know, keep doing this minigame and failing. You'll probably get pretty angry, so it's a good way to blow off steam, I guess. I don't know. Somebody pointed out in the comments a little while ago that there is actually one human NPC in this game that you can actually kill, and that's Sakon. Whenever you're saving him from, whenever you're saving the old lady from him, if you attack him with an arrow instead of with your sword, the bag that he steals from the old lady will explode and kill him. So, if you really don't like Sakon, you can actually murder him in this game, so yeah, go and do that. Anyway, so we got our piece of heart, and we're not going to play again, because that would be totally pointless. And now it's time to go get our other piece of heart from the Deku Playground. So yeah. Random side story. Speaking of the Pendant of Memories that we grabbed a few minutes ago in this part, I remember one time when I was a kid, I had a Game Shark for the N64. Don't call me a cheater, because I beat the game normally. I beat it without a Game Shark. But then I had a Game Shark, and I was playing around with this game, and I did a code to give me all of the items right from the beginning of the game, and for some reason, instead of giving me the Great Fairy Sword, it put the Pendant of Memories in the same slot as the Great Fairy Sword. So I don't know if that was something Nintendo did or some kind of joke from the creator of the Game Shark code. I don't know. But either way, it was pretty funny because I never actually was able to use the Great Fairy Sword until I legitimately unlocked it. So that's a little funny story there. I don't know. Maybe you'll think it's funny. I think it's funny. So anyway, Fagballs comes back again to beat the record for the third time in a row. This time it's fairly similar to the second day, just moves a little bit faster, and for some reason the record is 1 minute and 16 seconds instead of 15 seconds. So thank God Nintendo gave us that extra second. I don't know what I would do without that. And yeah, it's similar to the second day, just faster, really. Same idea though, spinning platforms that go up and down, one blue rupee, a bunch of green rupees. Practice, get a pattern down, and aim for accuracy more than anything else, especially when they're moving fast. It's very hard to attempt to land and slide off, because these platforms are very small, actually, as you can tell. It's also a little annoying because this, you know, the button for diving into the flowers is the same button that makes you twirl all around, so it's very easy if you're not dead in the center of the flower to accidentally twirl. I just did that there. You know, but if you're not careful and you're still landing and still touching the control stick, you might twirl right off the platform, which I think happened to me a few times when I was a kid and really pissed me off, so be careful of that. And there we go, 55 seconds. Not too bad, I would say. And for 3 days straight, we've been had. You're obviously a pro and pros can't play here. So, yeah, they don't take this loss quite as well as some of the other people did. We're dealing with a fierce competitor. Ah, it's Fagballs, hide. Yeah. If you beat them, they're kind of sore losers. They hide from you. Dicks. Anyway. Another funny story. One time when I was starting to play this game, I was at my cousin's house, and my cousin was about 3 years old at the time. She was crawling around, and she pulled the cartridge slightly out of the N64 as I was just beginning the game, and she did what I didn't understand at the time, but what I've since learned is called a crooked cartridge glitch, and a very rare one, apparently. The game started up, and every single item slot had an Ocarina of Time in it, which was odd, and then I forget what happened after that. I think there a bunch of really creepy and weird glitches occurred. Which in retrospect kind of remind me of the Haunted Majora's Mask cartridge thing that I keep referencing. But yeah, that happened to me when I was a kid, and I thought that was scary as shit. But yeah, it's another random story for you, just to fill up some time, because this is a long part, and I'm sure it'll get boring, so I'm trying to be entertaining. So anyway, now that we have the express mail from the proprietor of the Curiosity Shop, I don't know what his name is. If you know what his name is, please tell me in the comments, because I would love to know. Because, you know, it's my goal in life to be an encyclopedia of Zelda knowledge, apparently. So wait until 10 p.m., throw on the weirdest looking mask in the whole game. Well, it's not really weird looking, but it's quite goofy. The cow mask. Now you can milk Link. Disturbing mental image. Anyway, now that you have the express mail, instead of giving it to the postman to deliver to Cafe's mom, instead we just You have to go over here to talk to her for some reason. Instead, we just give her the mail directly, and she will give us our final bottle. And you have to wear the cafe mask to talk to her, otherwise she will have no idea who you are, because she has the memory of a goldfish. Apparently. I used to own a lot of goldfish growing up. I had a tank that had like 30 goldfish in it. Yep. I also, at one point, I owned 4 dogs for like a year or two. So, yeah, if you ever need someone who can live with a lot of goldfish and a lot of dogs, I'm your man. Anyway, irrelevant side details aside, there's our 6th bottle. And yeah, I don't know why this game has so many more bottles than all the other Zelda games. I think it has the most bottles out of any of them. A whopping 6. I don't know if there's really a reason for that. Nintendo probably just got lazy and, you know, we're trying to fill up item slots, as they clearly were with some of these items in this game. But, you know, this game did have a very short development time, so it's understandable they got a little bit lazy, I guess. So, there we go. We got a new heart container, we got a new bottle, and we're going to play the Song of Time, and in the next part, we're going to go around and get some more heart pieces. And then, hopefully within the next 5 parts or so, we can finally head to the final area of the game. I'll see you then.